What's up, internet? My name's Ori. Welcome back to the channel. It is Friday, September 13th, day number 60 inside the Big Brother house. Who won HoH? I don't know. Who are the targets? You got me. Where are the feeds? Jerry O'Connell. Let's talk about that, plus all the intel, drama, and more from yesterday's live feeds. Well, there were none. But first, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Listen, things are a little different today. Things are just a little bit different today. Because let me tell you, that there are no feeds yet. We are on puppy cams at this very moment since the end of the episode last night. But let's talk about what happened, what's been going on, and catch you up with everything happening. We might even find out a lot of information as this stream goes on. Like I said, let's talk about the eviction episode. First off, Jerry O'Connell filled in for Julie, who was sick with COVID. You know, it was weird at first, not having Julie there. This was the first eviction that she has missed in the entire history of the series. And, you know, again, it was weird at first, but also a little bit refreshing once I got used to the change. He did a good job. He's been a known Big Brother fan for a long time, and he seemed to really kind of get a kick out of the gig in general. So that was kind of nice to see. As far as the rest of the episode go, we saw a lot of the veto episode since it did end on a cliffhanger. We saw the veto meeting, Quinn going on the block, all the fallout from that. We saw that Leah apparently actually started to get feelings for Quinn as he's leaving the house. Like, you couldn't have worse timing than that. Just completely wild that he found himself in that situation. You finally get the girl as you're walking out the door. Quinn was evicted 4-2 with Leah giving him his vote to stay, as well as it seems Angela, who was conned into doing it as well. Quinn had fun with it though, right? Like the whole time he was still holding on hope, I think, right? Like he even had his fingers crossed at the votes were being read. But his speech was fun. There were several, you know, Big Brother references in there, with Terrence and his crock pot being one of them. He also did some Jerry O'Connell references, which I thought was, you know, pretty cool of him to be able to come up with those like that and kind of sprinkle them into his speech. Things like Kangaroo Jack and sliders and stuff like that. As he was being interviewed by Jerry wanted to touch his hair, and that was kind of a thing. But also even brought out like a fake immunity idol. Like, this guy really is Carrot Top with all the props he's pulling out of his pockets. But one thing though is he is very self-aware that, you know what, he's not good at Big Brother, but hopefully he was entertaining. And I gotta give him credit. He tries, and I appreciate that. Fails a lot, but he tries, and I gotta give him some credit for that. We also saw Ainsley letting the house guests know that she needs to travel and that she'd be leaving for a little bit, but in the meantime, she's leaving her junior artificial neurokinetic intelligence entity, aka Janie or Janky, maybe, if they have the K in there too, and they'll be in charge. Chelsea was even like, where does she need to travel? Like, what are we talking about? She's an AI bot. Who's traveling where? I don't understand. Feeds, though, have been down since the episode. No idea who won HoH or what's going on. It could be an endurance comp, which would kind of suck if we're not getting to watch an endurance comp go down. It could have been individually run competition where it's just taking a really long time to get this all done. Or it could be something else entirely. One of the things I was thinking about was it could even be individual runs along with Zingbot. And they have done Zingbot for an HoH, not just vetoes as well. So it could be something along the lines of that, where the janky or whatever replacement for Ainsley will be some kind of Zingbot type personality. They'll come in, they'll do the zings. That alone could take a good decent amount of time to have that all take place. Then after that, they would have the competitions. If it was individually run, it could keep on going. But even then, it feels like it's still been down a very long time, especially with this bunch. This doesn't seem like the type of group that would go multiple hours in an endurance comp. So I'm not 100% sure what's actually going down. Like I said, we are still on puppy cams, kitten cams at the moment. What do we even got down there? Is that a bunny rabbit? Are we watching a bunny rabbit? I think we're watching a bunny rabbit right now. That is what is on the live feeds at the moment. So we really don't know what's going down, who won HoH, what the targets are going to be. We have very limited information at the moment. We can check out my allegiance chart for the week. This is kind of the new updated version, the way I kind of see it. You got the two trios on either side. You got TKR, Takor, Rubina, Chemo over on one side. You got Chelsea, MJ, and Cam over on the other. Leah and Angela very much in the middle of both of them, could be pulled to either side. I think even with Leah, I don't think her loyalties would ever be to one side or the other. She's definitely going to be playing more for herself at the moment. And she'd be probably one of the biggest wild cards other than Angela to win HoH, because I don't know 100% which direction she could go. She might even just put one of each side up on the block. Who knows? But more likely, I think Leah would probably aim towards TKR than she would towards Chelsea, MJ, and Cam. But again, can't be 100% sure on that one either. Same with Angela. Not sure where her targets would go. She was talking a lot about how TKR is such a strong trio and they need to be taken out. Meanwhile, TKR started to notice that Chelsea is one of the strongest players in the house. And on the other side, Chelsea, MJ, and Cam have noticed that T-Core is in a really good spot in this game. All of them have their own individual targets they'd be going after as well. Like for Chemo, he's looking at Cam, and vice versa. Cam is looking at Chemo as two of their main targets that they see on either side of the house. Meanwhile, you have people like MJ, who's really still looking at Angela as a huge target for her to get out of this house. So there's a lot of really interesting dynamics at play here. And it's going to be really important who wins HoH, depending on how things are going to move forward and who has the numbers. This was also another big reason why I thought it was such a huge, big thing to break up the trio of TKR if you were Chelsea. Because here's the thing, with Chelsea, I don't think it was good for her game to get rid of Quinn. Yes, you keep TKR, who necessarily weren't going for you, but like we just said, they've noticed she's in the best spot in the game now, and Rubina and Chemo are never going to put Chelsea over T-Core. Same with T-Core and Rubina. As much as T-Core has kind of this bond with Chelsea, at the end of the day, when it came down to it, if it was the four of them in the end, T-Core is going to take Rubina and Chemo over Chelsea. She just will, right? That is just how this would work out, right? It doesn't matter what kind of deals you got going on. She's going to take her friends with her. She's not going to take Chelsea with her, even though she is friends with Chelsea. She's got a much closer bond to Rubina and Chemo, who she knows both would take her to the final two, whereas Chelsea, if she's smart and if T-Core's smart, would know that Chelsea would probably end up taking somebody else over T-Core. So for me, I think the bigger thing would have been breaking up TKR. If you're Chelsea, you then get kind of like no blood on your hands. If you would have let Chemo get voted out, you can just kind of go like, oh man, I didn't want that to happen. Why did they vote out Chemo? And T-Core and Rubina could even come on closer to your side after that, and you would still have the shields of MJ and Cam. Quinn would be there, but I think Quinn, even though he had talked about going after Chelsea, I think Quinn is the type of player you can work with. Quinn's the type of player that even though you might not trust him, you can work with him. You can kind of be like, listen, you might think I'm a big threat, but right now we got to work together because there's bigger threats in this house that we got to get rid of, right? You can use Quinn to to take shots at Cam. You can use Quinn to take shots at T-Core. But instead, they decided to kind of get rid of that variable, just focus on TKR, which they just in general feel like they're stronger at competitions than them. But we've seen the competitions this year and know that they are not just these huge physical competitions that you can beast through. There's a lot of mental aspects to them, and they've been a lot more fair game for anybody to win. So it's not like it's a easy thing where you can just be like, oh yeah, we'll just beat them in the competitions, but you don't 100% know what those competitions are going to be. And especially T-Core, Rubina, and Chemo, I think would be fairly strong in the mental competitions over people like MJ, Cam. Chelsea, I think, can do just as well as anybody else. But even these mental comps, we've seen them coming down to tiebreakers. We've seen them coming down to one question. And it could be really just a coin flip on who wins HoH. And I don't know. I feel like leaving that trio is just such a huge threat. And even when you break up a trio, you still have a duo. So even if you left Quinn and Leah as a duo, you still have another duo that's in there too as well. And I don't know. I feel like for Chelsea, it made a lot more sense to keep Quinn in the game. I think even for Cam and MJ, it made a lot of sense to keep Quinn on the game. For Cam, Quinn would have been another shield for T-Core and Rubina to go after before they went after him. Same with MJ. I feel like Quinn would just be somebody that they would all go after before going after them. Even though he might be a threat to go after you, I feel like you can work with him more. And that was the big worry, is they didn't feel like they could trust them. They didn't feel like they could work with them. So they ended up sending them out the door. But it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out now. I'm excited. Other than that, though, that's all I got for you for the update. We're going to jump into chat here in just a second. But if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. You like this video, hit that like button. If you're having fun on this stream, smash that thumbs up button that lets YouTube know that we're having a good time here. Also, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Check out all my socials as well. We've got the Discord, which is a lot of fun. Oh, people are always chatting about Big Brother, sports, other reality shows, posting pictures of their pets and stuff like that. It's a great time over there. You can also check out the Kick and Twitch. We're going to be streaming on there a lot more after the season. But other than that, let's jump into the chat. What are you guys thinking? What are you wondering? I know the big question of the day is still who won HoH, but we sadly don't know. Let's see what everybody's saying up in the chat here. Who do we got? T-Gold, how you doing? What do we else? We got Tommy, Glam Girls, Carnivore, how you doing? Ronald, what do we got? Aline, Savior, Otter. What's up, Otter? How are you? Who else do we got up in here? Happy Reality. Man, a lot of you guys up in here all chatting away. Let's see. X-Max says, did Cam win? We don't know. We don't know. G, at least, Dory. I got my coffee. Does that count? If they did pressure cooker, oh my God, I'd be so mad. I don't think they're doing pressure cooker. If anything, if there was any endurance that they would be doing, I would say the most likely candidates would be the spinning one, where you kind of sit on the discs and you spin around, you get hit, or slip and slide, both of which we have been locked out of in previous years where we weren't able to watch those. But also at the same time, there's been times where we were able to watch them on the feeds. We just don't know why this one in particular we wouldn't be able to get to watch. And it also feels like pressure cooker too, again, is another one of those ones where why wouldn't they just let us watch that? There's really nothing that needs to be done where they couldn't let us watch that. And I'd be very disappointed if that was it. Today is Friday the 13th. That is true. Maybe that has something to do with it as well. Let's see, where are we at here? If Leah wins, she's definitely going for Chelsea. I have a strong feeling she might. Hey, Rory, who do you want to win HoH this week? I think Leah and Angela are the most interesting ones because I think they would take the shots at either of the trio. I don't know if I 100% believe that either trio would take shots at the other two before just taking a shot at Leah or Angela. Yes, there would be a replacement nom that would probably be from one of the trios, but I think Leah and Angela, they take those direct shots at them, and that would be more interesting for this week. So that's who I would be pulling for the most interesting entertainment value we could get. Where are we at here? Leah winning would be the most entertaining, but I need T-Core to stay off the block. Personally, I think whoever wins HoH, Leah and Angela will be carried far with these trios, probably going to start targeting each other. And that's the thing. I don't 100% know if the trios will actually go after each other with Leah and Angela still there, but it would be the move, right? The best thing to do is just, hey, we have this many people left. There are 8 people left. There's no more like, oh, we'll wait next week. We'll do it the next week. Like, this is the week. You start doing it, right? Now is the time to start making your moves. You don't have extra weeks. And as time goes on, you're just setting yourself up to get taken out eventually. And be on the other side of the numbers. So as soon as that first trio takes the shot and takes one of them out, they have the advantage in this situation, which again also is why I think taking out the trio last week instead of Quinn and taking out Chemo would have been the better move. Because if you look at the numbers, Chelsea, she's not competing in this HoH. 3 out of the 7 people competing in this HoH all are TK, T-Core, Rabina, and Chemo. They have a 3-7 shot of winning this one. So if they're going to take a shot, the best game move they can do is to take out either MJ, Cam, or Chelsea so that they have the full numbers, especially going into the next week, where then it's just 2-2-2 on who could potentially win since one of them wouldn't be playing. Whereas if you would have taken them out, it's a much more even playing field on who could get HoH. But again, I understand that they didn't trust Quinn, and that was kind of an issue. Where were we here? Totally missed where I was. We'll just jump down to the bottom. Let's see. Carnivore says, have the feeds been off all night? They were when I went to bed. Yes. The feeds have not come back yet. We have been on the puppy cams. There's a cute little guy right there. Since the end of the episode, there were no like post-eviction pre-HoH feeds like we've gotten a few times, which if it was going to be down for this long, it would have been nice for them to at least given us those, right? I've really liked when we had those post-eviction, but the pre-HoH like little clips. They've been really cool to kind of see the immediate fallout of the votes after the episode, but we didn't even get that this week. Let's see where we're at. Totally missed where I was. Still on Adopt Animals. Ori, what if Cam wins HoH? Who do you think he would put up? I think he said before he would do Chemo and Angela. Who his replacement nominee would be? I don't know. Potentially Rubina, maybe even Leah. I don't think he's touching MJ. He's not touching Chelsea, and I don't think he's touching T-Core yet. So I think he would do some combination of Chemo and Angela, maybe even Chemo and Leah. But I think Chemo and Angela would be his initials. And then who his replacement nominee, again, I think would maybe depend on who comes off the block. If Chemo came off, I think it would be Rubina. If Angela came off, I think it might be Leah. So it would kind of be dependent on who would win the veto at the end there, or who would come off, or if it was even used. But those would be, I think, his initials, would Chemo and Angela. Let's see where we at here. I totally lost where I was. No, I'm losing my spot a lot tonight, guys. It's been a long night. I was hoping and praying we'd get something. I even pushed the start of the stream back like a half hour. I was like, let's give him another half hour. Still nothing. Where are we at here? Double eviction. So they never mentioned anything on the episode about a double eviction, Laura. Usually when we have a double eviction coming up, they will say on the previous eviction episode, like, hey, next week it's a double eviction, kind of as like a promo. They usually like to pump up that episode because it's a highly rated episode. Lots of people tune in for the double evictions, make sure they don't miss those ones, and would like to catch them live. So they usually try and pump that one up, but there was no indication that it would be a double eviction this week. Chrissy, I think he said yes, but on another platform. Ooh, what was that? I missed that question. Ori, who do you think will be the next 3 headed to jury? Ooh, it's so tough because it's dependent on who's winning what. I think if they're smart, listen, if they were smart, Chelsea and T-Core would be 2 of the 3 that would be headed to jury next, right? They are the 2. You look at our allegiance map that are just heads and shoulders above everybody else. I got Chelsea slightly above T-Core just because I think in general Chelsea's an overall better player, but T-Core does have a fairly good position in the house. You know, it is what it is, right? I think one of her biggest strengths and her biggest weaknesses is T-Core doesn't talk, right? Like, she doesn't say anything to get herself into trouble. And when she's having conversations with people, it's just a lot of So it's kind of like just like agreeing with them, right? So they can end up kind of trusting you in that way. So she's just a little bit lower than Chelsea. But again, that's just more on I think Chelsea's playing better. Other than that, you kind of have Rubina and MJ who are on similar levels on either side. Cam and Chemo on either side. I think they're both likely people to be headed to jury next, because I don't think these people are that smart. And they don't see that Chelsea and T-Core are pretty much the front runners to win at this point. If either one of them makes the final 2 against anyone else, they're going to win. It would be an interesting vote between Chelsea and T-Core, but I'll be honest, I think between Chelsea and T-Core, I think Chelsea wins in that final 2. She would have a guaranteed 2 votes with Rubina and Chemo with T-Core. But I think overall, Chelsea would be the one to get the nod at the end with that. I think Quinn would even very much be on Chelsea's side more than he would be T-Core's side, even though Chelsea was the one to send him to the jury house. I definitely put up Leah and Angela. Let's see. If Angela wins HoH, throw the whole show away. Do you see anyone putting up T-Core? That's a good question, Lynn. I think MJ would do it. I think Leah might do it. I think Angela might do it. And that's almost about it right now. Like, I don't think Cam would do it just yet. I think Cam would wait until at least Chemo, Leah, and Angela were gone. Rubina and Chemo are never going to do it. Chelsea, I don't think is going to do it right away yet either. Well, obviously, she can't because she can't win HoH this week. But yeah, that's why, again, like, I kind of see her in a little bit of a better spot. Same with Chelsea, is even though they notice, hey, Chelsea and T-Core, each trio was noticed that they're in the best spots. They're not looking at Chelsea. They're looking at, well, all right, how do we weaken Chelsea? Cam and MJ, that would be who you would take out, right? So I don't even think anybody's necessarily taking a shots at the heads. They would take a shot at the soldiers, which I think is the reverse thing that you want to do. Take out those heads, right? As soon as T-Core's gone, Rubina and Chemo crumble. As soon as Chelsea's gone, well, Cam, he for sure crumbles. MJ, she can kind of find her way, I think, a little bit, right? She can latch on the Leah. She could latch on the Angela. But if you got rid of Chelsea, it would crumble that entire side of the house. So I think you would want to go for the heads of the snakes, but I don't know if anybody's actually going to do that just yet. Tucker's getting America's favorite. Yeah, I think so. Where were we here? Uh-oh, I lost my spot. Let's just jump down to the bottom. I can see pressure cooker going all night. These folks stay up all night all the time. I would think, yeah, pressure cooker could go on a long time, but I don't think we are seeing pressure cooker. If pressure cooker was going on, I'm fairly confident they would show us. And if they don't show us, it would be such a punch in the gut. That would be terrible if we were missing out on pressure cooker. Let's see. Haley, I think they will let them sleep. What was this? So they're going to be up all night through the comp and all day. Yeah, usually when there's a long competition like this, when they keep them up for an extended amount of time, they'll let them sleep in more, at least a little bit. But they still have a schedule to be on, right? They still got to get nominations in. They still got to do veto and all the other things that they have to get done before Sunday's and Wednesday's episode. So yeah, they'll definitely be a little exhausted. Potentially, they could even still be sleeping right now. They're just not showing it to us yet, and they don't want to bring the feeds back just to them sleeping right away, and would rather bring their feeds back when they're about to be getting up for the day. So that could be a possibility as well too. No battle back either. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a battle back as far as I'm aware. I don't think they really told Quinn anything like too game breaking that they couldn't. But I kind of doubt there will be a battle back. One of the big reasons is too, if you kind of count up the weeks kind of line up perfectly for there to be a double eviction. And then on the final Thursday episode before finale, we would get down to the final 3. And then we would have the Friday, like, extra, memory lane episode. And then Sunday would be the finale. Sunday would be the finale where we would see it all play down. So right now, as far as the weeks go, I don't see a battle back in there unless they were planning on doing, like, a triple eviction or something. But as far as I can tell, it doesn't seem like that will be a thing. I'm rooting for all 3. No, not Chelsea. What is the AI twist? Good question, Mandy. So it's called, let me look at my notes again. What's it called again? It is called the Junior Artificial Neurokinetic Intelligence Entity. And I'm not sure 100% how they're doing the acronym. It could be Janie, Janie, or it could be Janky, which also I think works, Jankie. Either way, that's who's being left in charge. If I had a guess, it's going to be some kind of like Zingbot type personality thing, but with an AI twist. But other than that, we don't know. It's Chelsea's to lose. I agree. I think it's Chelsea's game to lose right now. People see it, so they might take a shot here sooner than later. But she's got a few shields in front of her. She's really good socially, so I think she can potentially, work her magic a little bit. But she's gotta make sure that trio gets broken up, because as long as that trio's broken up, the best she can hope for is 4th place. Because if she goes to the end with that trio and it's those 3 and her in the final 4, she's cooked, right? She would have to win veto just to stick around. So she definitely needs to break that stuff up. Leah's HoH, she's the ball crusher. If Angela or Leah gets HoH, they will put up the 2 heads of the trio. I would hope so. I don't know if that's exactly the route they would go. They could even go a little bit more small potatoes, right? Where it's like maybe like Cam and Chemo. But I do think for Leah, she's got a better relationship with Cam. She's got a better relationship with MJ. So if she puts somebody from that side up, it probably would be Chelsea. And over on the other side, she doesn't really have a relationship with any of them that's that much stronger than the other. But I think that would be your time. It's like, you know what? Just put up the other head of the snake, right? Put up T-Core, put up Chelsea. One of them potentially goes home. Your replacement nom could either be from their same side, or it could be someone from the other side again. And then you guarantee to break up at least one of the trios. So it would give you options. It would definitely give you options. And I think that would probably be the best way to go. Cam told MJ he wanted to leave the game. I didn't see that. Was that a thing? I know a lot of them are struggling. They're getting into that home stretch, though, now. So they start to get a little homesick of things. Thanks for your update and spoilers. I am glad you appreciate it. I try and give you guys all the biggest important info that you need from the feeds. Not much of the filler and the crazy analysis of every little eye twitch and what it would potentially mean. But just give you what you need to know and sprinkle in some of my opinions in there too. You should keep Cam in their back pocket to the final 3. Ainsley is gone. Technically, kinda. Ainsley's gone. At least Ainsley says she's traveling. That kind of implies that she'll be back at some point for another twist. But yeah, she's potentially gone for now, and we have her junior artificial neurokinetic intelligence entity. Janky, Janie, one of the two. One of the things I was thinking too, like if it was Janky, maybe, hear me out, if it was Janky, maybe it's a mix of like Janelle and Frankie. maybe that's what they're going for. I don't think so. But yeah, it's I have no clue what that's going to end up being other than potentially like a Zingbot type personality. Let's see where we are at. They will stay up to have HoH talks. Maybe, potentially. I would like to see Cam HoH. Cam would be an interesting one. He would take a shot at chemo, for sure. So he'd be taking a shot at TKR, which would be kind of fun to see that play out. Where are we at here? If Chelsea and Angela go up, and Cam and MJ or even T-Core win veto, I think one of them might take Chelsea down. Potentially. I think Cam would definitely take Chelsea down for sure. Who else would? MJ possibly would take Chelsea down as well. T-Core? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if T-Core would. Because if you take Chelsea down, that would risk Rubina and Chemo potentially being the replacement nominee. Now, Cam, he would risk MJ. If he can save Chelsea, MJ, yeah, get up on the block. I don't care. MJ would risk Cam. Yeah, go up on the block. I don't care, right? I'm saving Chelsea. T-Core, I don't know if she would risk Rubina and Chemo. I don't know if she would. I really don't. And I think actually if that was the case, I would think she would let Chelsea stay up there. Same thing if it was reversed. I think if T-Core was up on the block against Angela, I don't think Chelsea cares. All right. See you later, T-Core. Right? Like, bye. Have fun in Jury House. Right? Like, I think Chelsea is very much more of the idea of like, yeah, I'm just looking out for myself, right? Like, if you gotta go at some point, right? Like, I'm not gonna stop you. Whereas T-Core, I don't think she would risk Chemo and Rubina over Chelsea. But that, again, that's just where I think what would happen. But with this bunch, this is an emotional, messy bunch. You can never be 100% sure what they're gonna do. If they kept the AI Arena, who do you think would have gotten out last week, and who would have gotten nominated? Ooh, probably Leah. Probably Leah would have been one of the other nominees. And who would have left? It depends on who would have won, but probably Quinn would have a decent shot if it's Quinn versus Leah versus Angela. And I think it would then end up being Leah and Angela as the final 2 nominees. And I think Leah probably would have went in that case. If Leah wins HoH, she should definitely put up Chelsea and T-Core. Make sure it stays as a trio versus trio on the block. And Angela would have the deciding vote to determine which trio has the advantage. Josh, I love it. I would absolutely love it. Leah or Angela for HoH and Chaos. Let's see where we at here. I lost my spot. Oh no, I lost it. Let's jump to the bottom. Let's see here. Do you think Angela is... Oh, I almost lost that one. Do you think Angela is going to float her way to final 2 because it will be an easy win for the other person? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I would be doing the same exact thing. Angela, I said it. God, I don't even know when I said it. It might have been like week 2. Angela is a walking, talking $750,000 check that if you're sitting next to her in the final 2, you are winning. And I could see her being dragged all the way to the end. Now, once it got down to like final 4, final 3, depending who gets the power, I could see it being advantageous for them to be like, yeah, if Angela's here, they're going to take her over me. But if I get rid of Angela, the other two are going to take me over each other. So I could see a potential situation where when it gets down to like that final decision on who's going to the final 3, I could see her getting taken out because it would just make sense for whoever had power to take her out. But if you don't feel like either of the other two people are going to take you, yeah, might as well just make it an easier way for you to get to the final 2 in the first place, because you know Angela's probably not going to beat you in the final 3, right? Then you get to take her to the end. You just gotta have to hope that other person that's in there in the final 3 with you would want to take you over Angela, or you can beat them in the final 3. Because that's your worst case scenario. If you take Angela to the final 3 with you, and the other person wins the final HoH. Because you know there is nothing you can do. If it's a decision between you and Angela, that other person, they are taking Angela. So that is the big risk with it. So I could see around like final 4, just whoever has that veto being like, yeah, I got to get rid of Angela because they're going to take her every time. But other than that, yeah, Angela more than likely, I think, will be sitting in one of those final 2 chairs. Let's see. I don't think so. T-Core wants to win. She doesn't want Chelsea next to her. That's the thing, right? Like, I don't know. I could see both of them being like, listen, I can't take the other one, right? I just can't. They have whatever deals they got going on. I just can't take the other. And I just really strongly feel like there's no way that you can count on T-Core choosing anybody else other than Rubina and Chemo at all, right? Like, she's always going to choose them two over everybody else. So you gotta break up that trio, which is what I thought they should have done with this past eviction, but they didn't do it. Where are we at here? I need to know. I think that was I need to know who won HoH. We all do. We all do. I've totally lost where I was. We'll jump down to the bottom here more. If one tested positive for COVID, that's actually not a bad little theory, right? Now, as far as the possible spread, right? If we kind of think about this, if Julie was there Thursday and tested positive for COVID on Friday, there is plenty of potential where she met with a producer or she had contact with maybe like a production assistant, right? Anybody in the production who then maybe had contact with somebody else, who had contact with somebody else, who maybe could be somebody who's part of the team that goes inside the house, right? So there's, you know what? I gotta say, that's not a bad theory that you're throwing out there. I hope not, right? I hope not. But potentially one of the things they could be doing right now is just getting everybody tested, just to make sure. Maybe they were doing some contact tracing, and something like that came up. But I very much hope they are just doing competition right now. That is my biggest hope. Let's see. Never saw so many people use the veto on another player like Angela. We have been so lucky this season. If we pull up just like our list, every single week the veto has been used. Every single week has not been a unanimous vote. Even this past one, right? Where it was like, maybe you'll get like one vote. Maybe Leah will just jump ship. We have been just having a great time this season with just people doing wild stuff. Let's see where we're at here. It would be horrible to make it to the final 3 and get out. Oh, it would be devastating. Absolutely devastating. Let's see, where were we? I totally missed something. Who do you want to win? I'm pulling for Leah and Angela. I think they would be the most interesting HoHs. They'd probably have the most fun nominees. Whereas I think the other two trios, even though they're noticing each other, and they kind of are starting to realize that each side is a threat, I still feel like they'd end up going after like Leah or Angela this week, as opposed to taking direct shots at either of like the two power structures that we got going on. Angela will win. She's going to win like Josh. Tikura said, well, I mean, she could say that, right? But at the end of the day, I just don't ever see T-Core ever prioritizing anybody else over Rubina and Chemo. And it just is what it is, right? Like, they are just a strong, solid trio that at the end of the day, that's her ride or dies, right? And you got to break that up. Whereas even though there's a trio of like MJ, Chelsea, and Cam, they're not really ride or dies, right? Like Chelsea and Cam a little bit, but like Chelsea and MJ, like they don't really care that much. It's just a working relationship, right? They're work friends. They're not really friends. They're your work friends where you're at work, you're great friends, but once you leave, right, you're like, I gotta go spend my time doing something else. How do you define a super fan? B-Girl, that's a good question. After that, we'll skip down because I've already lost my spot after that. I think to be a super fan, you got to know a few certain things, right? Like, for example, number one question, if you want to call yourself a super fan, you got to be able to explain the difference between a floater and a coaster. And if you can't properly explain the difference between a floater and a coaster, I don't believe you're a true super fan. Another true super fan kind of test, I think, is what is the definition of a backdoor, right? Is every time a replacement nominee named, is that a backdoor? Or are there certain conditions you need for a backdoor? And if you can't answer that question, I don't think you deserve to be a super fan. Also, if you want extra brownie points, right? Like to be like a super fan, if you want to call yourself a super fan, you don't just need to know the definition of the backdoor and what kind of quantifies whether or not it's a backdoor or just a replacement nom situation. You got to know the origins. You got to know the six-finger plan. And not just the six-finger plan, you got to know who really started it. You got to know who really came up with that plan. Because I'll tell you what, they didn't have funny colored hair. It wasn't anybody with funny colored hair who actually came up with that plan. I'll tell you that. That's a real super fan when you actually know who came up with it. That's a big one. Man, other ones. Trying to think, what's like another like true test. I think the biggest thing, right, is you have to have watched feeds, right? And that's a big one for me with Quinn. Quinn liked to say he was a super fan, but Quinn couldn't even watch the live feeds last season during the pressure cooker. He was like, yeah, I tried to watch the feeds, but I couldn't get it to work. The dude only watched episodes and he only watched a bunch of podcasts talking about the live feeds, right? He never actually watched them himself. And I think that's a disqualification, right? Another one, listen, if you want another disqualification, there is a worse super fan than even Quinn or Joseph ever were this season. Anybody who watched BB Can 11, they would know that there was someone on that cast who literally, I'm not kidding you, their profession, right? Where like, you know, like sometimes it'll say like, oh, a doctor or a lawyer or a nurse or a teacher, or we've had pizza delivery drivers. We've had construction workers, police officers. We've had engineers. We've had, former, FBI agents. We've had people who were trained by the CIA like Tucker. This person, literally in their bio, in their profession, it said super fan. And I'm sorry, but you cannot be a super fan and quit 48 hours into the game. You can't do it. You can't be a super fan as your profession and not last 48 hours inside the house. Come on now. Come on. What are we doing here? BB Can 11 is not canon. Uri, what are your plans for the day? After this, a nice nap. And then hopefully we'll be able to see what goes on with the feeds. But man, whew, it is something else. The one that wanted Jace out that week. So here's the thing. Yes and no. The six-finger plan did come together with Jace during his week, but oh, stop the insanity! Stop the insanity! He knows. Stop the insanity knows Marvin. So here's the deal with the six-finger plan. If you guys don't actually know, Nokomis gets the credit for the six-finger plan. She executed the plan. But really, the actual plan was first brought up and conceptualized by Marvin. Marvin was the one who originally was like, actually, wait a minute. With the way the veto works, right? Why don't we just not have him be a nominee and not play in veto? And then guess what? Boom, see you later. Right? So it was Marvin who originally came up with the plan. Nokomis executed it to perfection. And I think that is like a mark. Like if you want to be like, oh, I'm a super fan, and I asked you that question, and if you don't even say Nokomis, like if Nokomis doesn't even come up to the conversation, you're disqualified. If you could say Marvin, that's a check. You are locked in there. As a super fan. Where were we here? I just don't want to see someone win that didn't work the whole game like Jag did last year. Either Chelsea, MJ, Angela, and maybe T-Core for the win. My preference would be Chelsea and MJ for the final two. Yeah, I think I kind of agree. Those are my like top four who I'd be like, yeah, I'd be happy if they walked away with the win right now, right? MJ, not necessarily the best player, but kind of scrappy, right? Was always kind of on the outs. If she's able to pull off the win, it'd be like, all right, I'm pretty impressed with that, right? It wouldn't have had necessarily, I don't know who you could even compare, like who had done like a similar path to the end, like literally always being on the outs, right? Because at first, like when I came to mind, I was like, it didn't have the bullying aspect of it, but right, like Taylor was kind of like on the outs for a bit, but even she eventually got the leftovers. Like MJ's never had a full alliance, but a lot of that is because there hasn't been full alliances in this game. So it'd be interesting if she were able to get there to the end. I'd be like, all right, yeah, I'm cool with that. Chelsea's been playing a phenomenal game. So Chelsea, if she won, I'd be the most happy. I think right now, Chelsea is like the one that I'd be like, yes, without a shadow of doubt, if Chelsea wins the game, we're good. Angela would be chaos. Angela for just if Angela won this game, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I don't see it happening, but I'd be thrilled. And T-Core, yeah, I think T-Core would be the other option of like people I'd be, that's an acceptable winner. Rubina, listen, Tucker was great, but like you're leaving a lot on the table there, Rubina. Chemo, sorry, buddy, not feeling it. Cam, same deal. Like Cam would have to turn it on. Cam would have to have we go back to BB Can 11. Cam would have to have a tie-like game from now until the end where he wins out. He's winning all the vetoes. He's winning all the HoHs he can. He would have to really like ball out and have a full ball game type of finish here, and then I would be happy if he won. But if he just somehow gets dragged to the end when he shouldn't be, then no, I wouldn't be happy with that. You know what? I'd add Leah to the list. Why not? If Leah Boogie can get to the end, sure, right? I'd be happy with that. I would say Angela is a coaster, Leah is a floater. Haley, that's a pretty good analysis right there. Haley, you get a check. You get a check for Superfan. Haley gets a nice little check there for Superfan. I think that's a good examples of difference between a coaster and a floater. Though I will say, Angela, though she is a coaster, man, is it like the most entertaining and cool coaster that we've ever had, right? Like, could you imagine if you just had a coaster that like talked trash all the time, right? You put it on your side table. Every time you put your mug down, it'd be like, yo, you got crazy eyes. You'd be like, chill. I'm just trying to leave my mug. Let's see where we're at here. Nokomis, that's the name. Yeah, so she was the one who executed the plan. But Marvin was the architect. Let's see. I've totally lost where I was. Ooh, White Ghost, how you doing? Dude, what the F, the stream never turned on for me. Oh no. Well, you're here now. Let's see where we at here. I legit ran to my TV to mute every time Pups came on. PTSD from the sound. Let's see. Where are we? For me, Chelsea, T-Core, Angela, MJ. I think that's a decent, order of, who I would kind of like to win. I think I'd add Leah in there probably before even Angela. I'd say Leah might even be my third. If Leah were to somehow win, I think she might be my third. I don't know why, but I feel like I would put her a little bit above Angela. I don't know. I feel like if she's able to kind of figure out a way to the end here, that's kind of impressive as well. My vote's for Chelsea. I agree. I'm on the phone at work, so I mute that. Don't get in trouble, Lou. Don't get in trouble. Hot take, I hate these streams because I don't get a real update that's I usually do every morning. I don't watch a 3-hour-long video to find out who won HoH. So, Ryan, I think you don't understand how the streams work. So, every single Friday, what we do here, the very beginning of the stream, I'm not even talking to chat. I'm not bothering with you guys. You guys are chatting there. You're having a good time. You're waiting for me to kind of get through what we need to get through. I give you all the info you need. The updates usually every Friday morning are done within the first half hour, just like every other update that I do every single day, right? Every so often, maybe an update will go like 45 minutes, right? If we have a very extra long day. Same thing on the streams, right? Once I'm done with that updates, when we jump into the chat, you don't have to watch no 3-hour stream to find out who won HoH, just that beginning part of the update. And that's kind of the beauty of these, is you still get that same update that you get every single day. If you want to dip out afterwards, you're not feeling the chat, no worries. You can head on out. You don't have to stay for the whole thing. But if you just want to get that update in the beginning, you could do that, dip off. But if you like having fun, like chatting and hanging out over everybody, come on and hang out. And also, 3 hours we have, I will say, the past few ones have gone 3 hours. That is true. We don't normally. Last year, I think we were maybe doing like 2 hours, hour and a half. But yeah, there's just so many of you guys, and we're all having fun in here. We end up going longer. But yeah, it's one of those things where you can still get your daily update of what's happening on the feeds every single day, just like normal. But on Fridays, we hang out afterwards and we chat. Rooting for Leah. Leah is more of an easier when any of the Angela and final. Oh, so you're thinking that Leah would be easier to beat than anyone other than Angela? Yeah, I don't think Leah. Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I think Leah would have a really hard time beating anybody, right? Like, just with the way all kind of the friends are in the house, I think she would have a really difficult time. You know, obviously with TKR, they all vote for each other if one of them happens to be sitting there. If they aren't sitting there, the three of them are kind of a voting block, and I see the three of them voting for a lot of other people over Leah. So yeah, I think it would be a hard task, but I'd be down if she won. Casuals would melt down if Angela won. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see where we're at here. Leah is a coaster. Oh no, Sharon. I see Leah as a floater. Leah, I think, is a very clear example of a floater. She goes to where the power is, right? And one of the things that she does really well is she always tries to say, like, oh, look, they're going to be up their butt now that they have power, when really she's the one doing it. So yeah, Leah, I would categorize as a floater. Someone who floats between different alliances, floats to where the power is, whereas a coaster, they're just there. Right? The coaster you put on your side table to keep a ring off of it with your drink. And that would be what Angela is. She just happens to be an entertaining coaster. Let's see. Chelsea for the win. Yeah, HoH hasn't finished yet. There is no HoH. That's the other thing too, Otter, right? Specifically on today, right? For that comment. Now listen, Ryan, totally understand not wanting to hang out for the chats, and that's why it's totally fair if you want to dip out. But especially on today, we don't even know who HoH is. We've got no clue. I couldn't tell you if HoH if I wanted to, because I don't know who it is. In fact, part of the thing that we're on here right now is we're watching to see what's going to happen, because we've been on puppy cam since the eviction. I couldn't even tell you right now, Ryan. Even if I wanted to. This is not the challenge hate when the comps wins way the most. Mary, that's also why, like, I know AI Arena, it really brought a new dynamic to the game that made things a little bit more interesting. I think a lot of the crazy votes and stuff like that were a part of them not being able to finalize things until really knowing who the final two were. And you could never really talk about the votes and be really honest with the nominees, because what if they ended up losing AI Arena and they were like your second choice to leave, so you got to vote them out or you got to let them stay, right? You can't really tell somebody you're voting them out. So it was a lot more like blindside votes, but it did make competitions feel more important and way more in the game. And I feel like if this was on any other season, it would be hated. People would absolutely hate this twist. It's not too unsimilar to the Battle of the Block, right? The only big difference is that it happens on eviction night, so it adds like a little bit of a short window there to figure out the vote. But otherwise, like, I kind of agree. I don't like comps to have that much value in the game, right? Especially early on. One of my big things that I feel is kind of like a very big part of Big Brother and kind of a philosophy of the game is the first half of the game, it is all social. It is all about forming bonds, forming connections that you can later use in the game and kind of leverage into good positions. The latter part of the game, right? Around now, I usually say final 7 is when the timing of when you win competitions is huge, right? Because one of the things is you don't necessarily want to win the final 6 HoH. Why? Because you want to be able to compete in the final 5 HoH. Because if you can compete in the final 5 HoH, final 4 HoH is nice, but it really doesn't matter. It's all about the veto. So final 5 HoH gets you all the way to the end. If you can get around not winning final 5 HoH, it also is kind of nice to have 2 shots at the final 3 as well. So again, you can kind of like try and line up your wins well if you can, but also that's not always an option. So it's really important to win those vetoes as well, because if you can win the vetoes, you win your safety, period. So it really starts to become more important for competitions around now, whereas everything prior is all more about your social game, right? Making sure that you have those good connections so you're not taken out early and there's other people being taken out ahead of you. And I don't know if I necessarily like that the AI arena had so much control in the beginning of the game. Now, it did allow people like Tucker to play the way he did, but I don't know if I want to see that be as much of a factor moving forward. If it comes back, I wouldn't be mad, but I wouldn't want to see it go almost the whole pre-jury. I would rather it have gone maybe to like week 4, right? After that, get rid of it, and then we have some normal Big Brother. But yeah, overall, I agree. I don't like necessarily the comps being so important. Cam needs to step it up right now. Absolutely, he does. Absolutely, he does. Because also, again, him and Chemo are kind of top targets for either side of the house with the trios, right? They're people that people would kind of key in on as like, hey, let's get rid of them before we get rid of the others, because you still kind of have the lingerings of that girls alliance. It's never going to become an actual thing, but it still could lead to them being like, yeah, let's get rid of Cam first because he's a physical threat. Same thing where it's like Chemo, once Cam's gone, he's also a physical threat on the other side. So you could kind of be like, those are the 2 that would need to go before anybody else. But definitely, Cam needs to step his game up. And if I delivered my firstborn child to season 1 final 4 episode, watching as I pushed, but I didn't know the winner's name of every season. I have seen them all. Am I a super fan? Yes. If you were giving birth during an episode, you're a super fan. That counts for me. Angela for America's favorite player. Leah deserves nothing. Let's see. Where are we at here? I totally lost my spot. We'll jump down to the bottom. Chemo is not a physical threat. Listen, Darren, I get it. But more physical, right? They're grasping at straws, but they would still see him as someone who could potentially beat him. Imagine AI, but with Derek and Cody. Oh boy. Who is the most likely to put T-Core on the block? I think Angela and Leah. I think Angela and Leah are the ones most likely to do that. I think. Where are we at? Mine also, I go back and forth between her and Chelsea for the win. I agree. I think Chelsea's a very high target to be somebody I would like to see win. The girls, all the girls show, the all girls show is coming to the BB house. It could be. It very likely could be. It would be kind of cool to see that take place. Do you think it's pressure cooker? I hope not, Jack. I hope not. If we were getting locked out of pressure cooker, it would be depressing. One of the things that we actually brought up a little earlier, now I didn't even actually think about it until somebody mentioned it in chat. Julie had COVID, and potentially maybe there could be some weird contact stuff there, where maybe she had contact with somebody who either entered the house or had contact with somebody else who had entered the house, right? Like, we all know how that kind of goes. We dealt with it for a long time there, where you had to keep track of, who you were near. So, maybe they could be doing some extra testing just to make sure. And that could be why feeds are down longer. There were talks of it being an endurance comp, and that actually does come from pretty reliable sources. So that could be a thing. I don't think they would do pressure cooker. They have locked us out of slip and slide before. They have also locked us out of that spinning one where they're kind of smacking into the wall as they spin around on the rope. So hopefully not. But yeah, I don't think they would lock us out of pressure cooker. But man, that would be depressing if they did. Chemo isn't even a social threat. If you gave birth during an episode, you were, yes, 100%, Shannon, 100%. Hey Lisa, how's it going? I saw every BB. What do we got coming on here? David, come on in, hitting that sub button. David, you might not know this, but when you hit that subscribe button, we now have a secret alliance. Shh, don't tell anybody. Keep it a secret. Me and you are going to the final two. You just got to keep it a secret and not tell anybody. All right? Not a soul. Go to the final two, David. Where are we at here? But we were able to watch. Yeah, exactly, Eminem. We were able to watch Pressure Cooker last year. I don't think they would block that from us. I think we would get a chance to see it. Chelsea gave Quinn a taste of his own medicine. Wearing Rubina's dress as Tucker was evicted and blowing up all of his alliances. Why Chelsea, why he deserved to get drugged by Chelsea this week. And, you know, I can't blame her for doing it. I really can't. I don't think it was the best move for her, but I can't blame her for getting them out. Let's see where we at here. Leah is one of is the one that studies everyone and has a great mind for reading people. She has Angela under a spell. She will get Angela to go off the deep end and get voted out. Leah, MJ, and Chelsea. The one thing is, like, Cricket, you're not that wrong, right? Like, I think Leah does kind of study everyone. She does have a pretty good, like, read on people. But she's been playing a very, like, back game, right? She was trying to let the boys kind of do her work, but everybody kind of caught on to that. The one thing she doesn't have is that ability to kind of mask what she was pulling. Everybody was able to kind of clock that she was, like, flirting with the guys and had them under her spell. So she didn't have that much threat management, and it made people kind of sketchy of her in the end. And then also her self-described, like, always needing to over-explain really hurt her as well. That her very long rambling talks definitely never helped her case. Leah for HoH. Oh, I lost that. Where was it? That was Tommy saying that. Oh God, were we that far back? Were we that far back? I've lost my spot. We'll jump down to the bottom. I agree, Sasha Banks. He was a good host. He was not a good host. Oh, Jerry? You didn't like Jerry? I thought Jerry was all right. It was weird at first not seeing Julie. But eventually I appreciated the switch up. It was kind of nice. I thought he did all right. The one thing I did like, you could tell he was having a good time, right? Like he was having fun with it, right? It felt like he was kind of giddy when he was doing it, and he kind of he was having a ball, and I like that. They have to battle against an AI trick, maybe. Remember Ainsley character friend was coming to the house. Yes, the what is it? Junior Artificial Neurokinetic Intelligence Entity, aka Janny, one of the two. I don't know. I assume it would be a Zingbot type thing, which also was my initial thought of maybe why the feeds were down so long, is that was happening. But yeah, I don't know. It feels like even that wouldn't keep the feeds down this long. But it is still a thing. Let's see where we're at here. Jerry was great for a last minute live show. I would have froze 100%, right? To be just thrown in there to a live show like that. Gotta give him credit. I think it would have been nice. It would have been a nice little touch. It was super last minute, so it was not even possible, I'm sure. But it would have been nice. And plus, I'm sure there's contract issues and all that other things. It would have been kind of nice to have Arissa Cox, who, if you don't know, was the host of BB Can. BB Can was just canceled. It would have been kind of cool if they could have got her to fill in. But again, super last minute. You would add a flyer down from Canada. Who knows what the contract situations are all like. Would have been kind of a mess. I felt bad for Quinn, though. I did too a little bit, right? You don't get to see Julie as you're evicted. And it feels like that's, a key part of Big Brother. You get evicted, you go talk to Julie. But also, thinking about it from this way, who else can say, yeah, I was evicted and I talked to Jerry O'Connell, right? Like, he will be probably the only house guest to ever have an exit interview with somebody other than Julie leaving the house. Like, unless Julie full on retires and the show goes on past Julie as the full-time host, Quinn will always be the only person ever evicted who didn't talk to Julie. He is a trivia question now, right? Quinn is now a question that you can ask people later on if they are a super fan. Can they answer who is the one house guest who wasn't interviewed by Julie when they left the house? And that would be your answer. It would be Quinn. So, I mean, he might not be a real super fan, but hey, he is a trivia question to be a real super fan. Let's see. Let's see where we at. I can't like Jerry, but I can't like Jerry. I try, but he's cringy. I thought Jerry did good. I actually miss Julie. Don't kill me. Definitely not, right? I think we all miss Julie, right? We all hope she has a nice, speedy recovery. I think she's already feeling better. It's just the fact that she was testing positive still, is why she couldn't actually do the show. Jerry was good in my opinion. I like how the cast also had fun with it. 100% T Gold. I liked that Quinn, immediately as soon as he saw it was Jerry O'Connell, he was like, all right, what kind of jokes can I come up with? Kangaroo Jack. I was named after him in Sliders. What else do we got? What other kind of stuff we can do? Stand by me, you know? Hey, Jerry, I'm going to be standing by you when I come out of the house. Where are we at here? The feeds are saying that the feeds will be back soon. I don't know when soon's going to be. It's been, now at least, 13 hours, 14 hours? It's been as long as what a pressure cooker would have been. But I don't think it's the pressure cooker. I hope it's not the pressure cooker. It would be so sad if we missed out on that. Let's see. I thought Jerry was fine considering the last minute. 100%. I think Ainsley's friend is Zingbot. I agree. I think that's kind of the direction they're leaning with it. It's also about that time for Zingbot too. If not this week, next week would be when it would happen. Angela and Leah, if they make the trios target each other, they're in a perfect position. 100%. If they can do it. We wanted Arissa. Love Jerry. He just, where did it go? Where did it go? I was reading that. Love Jerry. He got thrown into it and doesn't watch live feeds, but he would be a fine temp replacement. Arixa Cox should take over if Julie leaves. I agree. I think that would be a good plan. Remember Ainsley's character friend was coming in the house? Yeah, the Junior Artificial Neurokinetic Intelligence Entity would be coming on in. I assume it's going to be like Zingbot, but I don't know. Leah for HoH, and she put up Chemo and Cam. Have the noms stay the same, and have Angela cast the final vote to evict. I love it. Did you see the Instagram picture of him holding Quinn in his arms? I did see that. He knew hours before it wasn't last minute. What? I mean, come on. 90 days goals. What do you classify last minute other than just the day of? You wake up and find out, yeah, guess what? You got to host a show tonight live on national television. Good luck, buddy. Right? Come on. I mean, that's pretty last minute. Right? This is the big production we're talking about. Where they plan things out months in advance, right? This was literally, he woke up that day and they said, hey, Jerry, we need you. Right? That is as last minute as you could get. Or do you think the feeds are down till they can reveal the Ainsley assistant? Maybe, Karen. Could they use Tucker's voice without him returning like they used Matt's for the Matrix? Maybe. We better not get a digital Zingbot on the screen instead of being in there in person. I hope not too. I hope it's a real person. I don't want digital Zingbot. It may be Quinn as AI. Where are we at here? Arise would have been cool. I thought touching Quinn's hair was weird. It was a little bit weird. Someone could have got injured during the comp. And like, right? Like, we hope everyone is safe and healthy and doing well. But it's a possibility, Christy, right? We can't throw that out as a possibility. Like would be her speech at the end. Speaking of likes, if you are watching this stream and you're having a good time, smash that like button. Let's get a like spike for Leah's eventual like speech in the final two. Also, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. You'll hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. We do daily live feed updates first thing every morning. Every Thursday, we do live watch parties of the eviction episode. And every Friday morning like this, we do our update in the beginning. You get that short, sweet update that you get every single morning in the beginning. And then afterwards, we jump in the chat. We hang out with everybody. Let's see where we're at here. Rachel Riley or Jeff. Those would both be great options for a future host if they ever needed one. Obviously, Dr. Will would be great if they ever needed one too. Who else would be like a good one? I don't know. I don't know if there's anyone else really that I'd be like, yeah, they should be the host. They could have used the AI hologram machine. Howie Mandel uses it all the time. Quinn was right. The Quinn named after him thing was great. When he brought that up, I was dying. Kangaroo Jack sent me off as well when he was like, "Hey, Kangaroo Jack, what's up?" Like, oh, Quinn, you menace, you absolute menace. Especially if Quinn was really Sunshine. I kind of want to know, like, was he actually named after him? And that was a good one from Quinn. Like, I didn't even put that together until he said it, and I was like, oh yeah, his name was like Quinn Mallory or something on Sliders. I used to love that show. Quinn probably had no idea who he was, breaking all kinds of records this season. Gotta feel bad for Quinn being stuck with Jerry. At first, I was sad too, right? I was like, man, that kind of stinks for him, right? Like, if I didn't get to see Julie, I'd be a little upset after being evicted, right? It would sting a little bit more. But then also, I started thinking, it's like, actually, who else can say they did that? No one. You're the only house guest that can ever say, I wasn't interviewed by Julie. I never talked to her. Like, I never got to meet her when I was evicted. Does that mean Quinn is even technically evicted? If you don't talk to Julie, is it official? I don't know. At least Quinn has that going for him. Exactly, right? At least he has something going for him. He's got a little bit of history to it. Quinn was thrilled with Jerry. He said he was named after Jerry's character on Sliders. I felt bad for Quinn, although he was my favorite. Yeah, I kind of want to know if that's true. Like, was he actually named after the guy from Sliders? Or did he just go like, wait a minute, I know his name was Quinn on Sliders. I can say this. Let's see. She walked, he seemed awkward to me, but may just be I'm too used to Julie. It was a little bit, right? And again, that's part of where it's like he was just thrown into this thing, so it was going to be a little bit awkward. And he was kind of giddy while doing it too, because he is a fan. So I actually almost imagine for him, like, this is actually like, ooh, this is kind of fun, right? I'm sure he's even like, he does the talk with Julie as a host, right? So I'm sure like he's even like, you know, joked with her before, like, one of these days I'm going to take over for you or something, right? So I think he did a good job, right? Just for what he was asked to do, what was needed. I think he filled in pretty well. I've totally lost my spot. I've totally lost my spot. Let's jump on down to the end here and catch up on things. Did they release the goodbye messages? I haven't seen yet. No, actually, you know what? I can check. I can check if they have, because I have access to that. Let us see here, because if they have, maybe we can even watch those real quick. They don't usually let me do that kind of stuff, but screw it, I'll break the rules today. Let's see. Go to the videos. No, it does not look like they've released the goodbye messages yet. No, the only clips they got up right now, oh wow, do they not even have the... Doesn't even look like they have the Joseph ones on here. Interesting. Yeah, because I see Brooklyn's on there. I see Cedric's is on there. So yeah, I don't think they've released them just yet. Also, what was that coming on in? Yvonne? Is that Yvonne coming on in with a sub? Guess what, Yvonne? You might not know this, but when you hit that sub button, we now have a secret alliance. Shh, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody, and we are going to the final two. If you tell anybody, I don't know if we can go to the final two. But we now have a secret alliance. Shh, don't tell anybody. Thanks for hitting that sub button. So yeah, I have not seen any of the goodbye messages yet. Let's see where we're at here. Leah says she has a crush on Quinn right before he's evicted. Brutal, Sasha. Brutal. Glad to know Quinn knew him. I missed bits and pieces at the end. He was the best house guest to get stuck with Jerry. The one named after him is quite a coincidence. Absolutely. And yeah, I think of all the house guests to be stuck with Jerry, I think Quinn made the most of it, right? He was having fun with it. Whereas, you know, another house guest might just be bummed they didn't get to see Julie. Just subscribe. Great job on the road to 15K. I appreciate that. We are getting closer and closer. I feel like we can do it. By the end of this season, we can hit that 15K, which would be insane. I still am shocked even one person has subscribed to this channel and watches this goofy dude talk about Big Brother all the time. I predict a woman would go this week. Ooh, that would be spicy. Let's see. Yes, Martha, if BB Can never comes back, us Canadians would be glad to donate her time to you just to grab Arissa. I actually also think if BB Can doesn't ever come back, they should let Canadians try out for the US seasons. Right? Like Survivor does the Canadians on there now. We've had a lot of them. There's been a lot of Canadians that have been on Survivor now. So open it up, right? Get the Canucks down in here. Let's see. I wonder how much this season Jerry has lost. I think he's been keeping up. I would imagine or watched. Yeah, I think he's been keeping up. Right, he's a fan, right? As he's claimed before to be a fan of the show. So I imagine, yeah, he's probably kept up on some of it. Oh, I lost where I was again. Oh no. Let's see where we're at here. Quinn will see Julie at the finale. We can zing him all day. He won't miss out. I'm gonna make up a lie and tell everyone Ori has a final two with multiple people. No, Lou. Just because as a Giants fan, watching Saquon score 3 touchdowns week 1 really hurt me. Lou, I cannot say I am sorry to see that happen. I was very happy to see that happen. Lou, I quick tangent. Probably half the crowd here has no care or desire for this conversation at all. But if you haven't watched the Hard Knocks they did with the Giants front office before the training camp started, it was really cool because it was getting to see like different moves that the front office makes, like how they deal with the draft and evaluating players, free agencies, re-signing contracts and all that kind of stuff. But the best part, the absolute best part of the whole thing was the Giants owner, Jim Mara, I believe is the owner. I believe it's Amara who owns the team. He said to the GM, he's like, listen, Saquon, I just don't want to see him walk and go to Philly. And what happens? He walks and he goes to Philly. And there was a great shot because they have all the hidden cameras, watching him walk down the hallway, just sad, just like it needed the music from the Hulk TV series. The sad walking music as he was walking down the hallway. Gotta love that we got Saquon. No HoH yet, Birdie. Yeah, feeds are still on the puppy cams as we are here talking and chatting. They've been down now for, gosh, I don't even know how long exactly. 12, 13 hours, something like that. So no news. If it's physical, Cam or Mackenzie will be HoH, potentially. Could be. Who do we got coming on in here? Cloud Naive hitting that sub button. Thank you so much for doing that. You might not know this, but we now have a secret alliance. Shh. Don't tell anybody. Also, Shannon hitting that sub button. Guess what, Shannon? You may have heard rumors, but I promise you, they're not true. But me and you, we now have a secret alliance. Shh. Don't tell anybody, Shannon. Don't tell anybody or we can't go to the final two. But if you don't tell anybody, me and you are going all the way. Going all the way. Don't listen to anybody else. People might tell you things about other final twos. They're all lies. They're all lies. Let's see where we're at here. Totally lost my spot again. Totally lost my spot. Let's jump on down a little bit. Uri, do we count points for the draft? I had Angela, Chemo, and Cedric. Yeah, we do have that. Here, I could pull that up. Let's see here. BB. I can pull that up and share that here in just a second. Let's see. Do this, and then I'll do that. Did that work? Oh, there we go. Then I think if I go here, I'll switch this to this. Where is it? This one, I believe. All right, and then we'll do that. Oh, that didn't work. That didn't work. Where are we at here? Might be this one, maybe. Yeah, it's got to be that one. Nope, that's the chat. Is it this one? Nope. Which one is it? Trying to share this with you guys. Not that one, so it's got to be this one, right? No. Why can I not share that with you? Okay, maybe if I do this. Make it its own window. And see. No, for some reason it's not recognizing that window. Maybe I can do this. Feeds are down. The draft sheet doesn't want to work for me. Okay, here we go. And like that. And then we gotta go back here. This on this one, I believe. There we go. Now we got the draft pulled up. Here, we'll zoom in here to the leaderboards. And this is updated. Or actually, no, it's not fully updated the last night. Here, let's do that while we're here. Let's do that while we're here. So, it would be the week's jury. We would need to add this for Chemo to 2. Oh. 2. Why does it not want to type 2? What is going on? Nothing wants to work. So that's not going to get updated, but let's check out the leaderboard anyway. It's one of those days, people. So we got just me, Sandy D, up at the top there, tied with Survivor 71, with Cam, Chelsea, and MJ with 47 points, leading the draft. We got Omar coming in at 46, tied for second with Asher and David C. Different teams there, though. So Asher and David C., they both have MJ, T-Core, and Tucker, whereas Omar has T-Core and Tucker, but Chelsea instead of MJ. Kind of cool to see that. And then tied for third here, we've got, oh, wow, actually, hold on. There's even more tied with 46. We've got BB26 Nicole tied for second there. Jumbo's tied for second, and Thomas W. And they all have Leah, MJ, and Tucker on their teams. Interesting as well, because these teams here, all that have Tucker, they're down one member at the very least. So definitely at a disadvantage to just me, Sandy D, and Survivor 71, who have full teams up at the top. And then after that, we've got a bunch of people tied here with 44, including Checkers and Wreckers, one of our mods over in the Discord, Haley, Mason, TC, Miles, Mick, Scrapadoo. That is a great name. That is a great name. UTSA Jen, MPG, NJP Mason tied in there at 44 as well, right? Or no, he's at 43. Strike that. He's only at 43. But there is your top of your leaderboards. There's a link in the description, I believe, of the stream if you wanted to check that out as well to get a full idea of where you're sitting in the standings. But that is our little draft update. Let's see here. Let's catch up on some of this stuff. Technical difficulties for sure. Hope nothing bad happened. I'm with you, Yvonne. Like I hope everyone who's in there right now is happy, healthy, and safe, and nothing bad happened during it. And it could just be it's a long comp. Who knows what exactly is going on? Could be part of the twist. But yeah, hopefully everything's good in there. It's one of the things where it's like, man, I just wish they would communicate sometimes. They didn't once this season. One time this season, they were like, hey guys, listen, they're going to be down for a while, just to give you a heads up. It is Friday the 13th after all. You never know. I wish Big Brother would do a theme where they all use the other Paramount shows as twists, like Survivor Week. Everyone's on slop and it's hosted by the host of each shows. That would be kind of cool. I'd be down for that. Anybody watch Fire County with Jerry? We love to hate him. I've never seen Fire County, no. Is he on that? You love to hate him on that show? Who won HoH? Sadly, we do not know. At this moment, feeds are still down. We're currently on Rabbit Cam, but Puppy and Kitten Cam for pretty much the whole time since the episode. We have not seen anything from the house since the eviction. Where are we at here? Yeah, feed's still down. Still down. That's crazy. It's wild. I thought I was doing better. He is usually a little whacked out, and you could tell he was just being super professional. He tried having breakfast, eggs and coffee with you guys. Got to get that coffee. Actually, my coffee's starting to get cold. What about the character Ainsley? Said was going to replace her. Yeah, the let's see, what was it called again? Pull up my notes. What was this thing called again? It was the Junior Artificial Neurokinetic Intelligence Entity, aka Jenki? Janie? However they want to do it. Jenki probably is what they would go with. I assume it's going to be some sort of a Zingbot type personality. But that's just a guess. They better not be doing pressure cooker. Ori, don't leave us. Could it be a double? Probably not. They usually promote that type of thing, and they would have done that on the show, I would imagine, too. But maybe not. How do you get commercials to play on my screen while you're live streaming? It's genius. I promise, I'm not doing it. Angela Tucker and T-Core is the team I put. They really should be an interesting week. I hope to see a new side of Leah. I agree, Abigail. I hope she kind of opens up and starts playing. Did you cover reindeer games? Watched it this weekend. And while it wasn't real BB, it was fun. I completely agree with your take on that. While it wasn't real BB and it was a little goofy, it was fun and I enjoyed it. I didn't cover it. I was one of the big reasons why I didn't. I was so mad when they said, yeah, we're doing reindeer games. It's not going to be like real Big Brother. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was just so mad because I was really looking forward. There was the rumors it was going to be a Legends type season, which it kind of was, right? Like that's the type of cast that you can get if you do something that's a little bit shorter. You can get people like Danielle to come on out again. You can get people like Brittany to come on out again. You're not going to get them to come out for 90 days, right? 2 weeks? Yeah, sure. They'll do that. So that's why when I was like, hey, they're going to be doing this shortened kind of season, they could get some big names to come. And then when I found out it was just like this like reindeers game thing, I was so upset about it. I didn't cover it at all. But I did watch it and I somewhat enjoyed it. Plus with BB26, I was burnt out after 100 days of that mess. I kind of want to meet Chelsea when she's done with the show. We're from the same town. Are you really? That's pretty cool. Ainsley is introducing a Chubb for Leah to chase all the way to her victory. Poor Quinn. How devastating would it be? He just got Leah to start having a crush on him. He gets evicted, and then they throw somebody in there. It would be kind of fitting for the Love Island accusations that the beginning of the season had. Just throwing a bombshell. Throwing a bombshell for Leah. I'm finishing my second cup. I was doing breakfast when you started. Then I drove my kids to school. Now I'm home waiting for him and been listening the whole time. I love it. Maybe Jerry forgot to mention the comp. Maybe. Loved reindeer games. Hope they do similar stuff this year. Ainsley was janky enough. I watched reindeer games. Where'd that go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Oh no! I watched reindeer games recently and liked it too. Maybe AI Twist and Junior are why feeds are down. That's my guess as well, Donald. Is it probably has something to do with the new Junior artificial neurokinetic intelligence entity, whatever that's going to be. I imagine it's something to do with Zingbot, but again, who knows why they're down exactly. Just kind of hope that everything's good. Jerry was reading off cue cards. They should have broken it up better so we knew when I emphasized that was the only thought I had about them. 100% they had them on cards, or at very least a prompter, right? But yeah, I think for getting thrown in there, never doing this before, and just saying like, hey, let's do a live show, he did a pretty good job. Can BB25 legend? I don't think so. Angela, what did that say? Missed it. Totally missed it. Totally lost it. Uri, what is your favorite BB season? 10. I think 10's kind of the perfect BB season, right? I think it just kind of from start to finish, it has the best run. I think after that, 3 always has a special place in my heart. 14 can be fun. 16 can be fun. 20 was good. But man, I'll tell you what, BB26 really is getting up there. as far as my favorite seasons, BB26 is really getting up there. If they can nail this ending, it should be good. BB25 was so bad to me, I didn't even think to watch Reindeer Games. Are we watching Survivor 47? Yes, we'll be watching that. But yeah, I just hope it's better than last year. I hope it's better than 46. I say last year, but last season. 46 was awful. I called it Losers at War. It was terrible. I'm more looking forward to when Survivor Australia eventually comes back. That will be my big excitement. Wouldn't they have said something about if they knew the feeds would go down long? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And that's kind of the sad part about the lack of communication we get sometimes. When Quinn pulled out the immunity idol, that was pretty funny. Let's see where we at here. He did a great job. Maybe the little alien Martian from the Flintstones came in the house. Not Kazoo. There will be so much napping on the feeds today if they were up all night. 100%. Do you think they're going to have someone to go back in the house from jury? Maybe, but the way the weeks line up, they're pretty much set up to where it would be the perfect time with one double eviction for each of the weeks. And it would end up with the final 3 going into the finale night. If they brought somebody back, I would imagine they would either need to do a triple eviction or a second double eviction. And it doesn't seem like we're going to get 2 double evictions in this short of time space. So I would lean towards no buyback for jury. Cam is going next. Girls Alliance in full swing, even though they don't know it. That's kind of the funny part too, right? Is that even though like the girls thing isn't really a thing, like it kind of is, even though they're not. Because they're probably going to be going after Cam and Chemo next. Like, those are probably the ones that go first. And that's kind of interesting. I think if it was anything normal, like a comp special event going on, they would have given notice on Insta like last time. But this gives a different vibe. Like, they don't want to share info, COVID injury. So, while I would normally be like, oh, yeah, why wouldn't they just tell us? There have been so many times where we got no explanation, none at all. And while, yes, they have this season one time told us, hey, it's going to be down for a little bit extra time, that is not the norm. Usually their modus operandi for all this is zoop and say nothing. And just let it be the dogs and puppy cams, and that's about it. We're lucky if we get any more than that. So while like yeah, I can understand while like maybe it might give you some worry, I don't necessarily think it's a thing where you have to worry about what's going on. Is it a possibility that could be what's happening too? Of course. You could never rule anything out. But it wouldn't be the first thing I would jump to. I would think it still could be something just to do with the twist, with the competition, or whatever's going on in there. Do you think there will be any more seasons of Traders UK or Australia? So for UK, yes. In fact, not only is there going to be another regular seasons of Traders UK, they've actually greenlit a second like spin-off. So they're going to do Traders UK like they normally do with all newbies, like no like famous people. And they're going to do a separate season of Traders UK Celebrity Edition. So unlike the US where they mixed it the first season and now they've gone full like celebrities, the UK have always done newbies, and I think the newbie casts are the superior ones. UK is at least going to do a celebrity season in addition, as opposed to mixing the pool up. So yeah, the UK is definitely coming on back. Australia, I don't know. Haven't heard any info on that, but I hope so. I love the Traders. Let's see where we at. We do also have Traders Canada, which is starting this month. I think like the 28th. I think it starts. And they've already announced that Netta from BB Can is going to be on it. Who else is on it that's interesting? Trying to think. There's not too many other like big reality names on it. The only one that's like somewhat related to Big Brother is Ty's father, Cedric. Ty from BB Can 9. His dad is going to be on it. But Netta is going to be really fun to watch on Traders Canada. Maybe someone got injured. Hopefully not. I wish all the YouTubers could be on the next BB. Ori, Taryn, Fro, etc. Would be lit. I think it would be a good time. I think we could. It could be an interesting game. I also think everybody who would be on there would know exactly what we need to do first. I think we would all be under an understanding that there would be one particular target that would need to go first. We could all just agree. And I think after that, then it would get interesting. there would be one main target that would have to go. And then after that, it would be an open game. But it would be fun. Cam is he is the only straight guy left. There's Chemo in there, but both of them being the only two guys left in the house filled with women. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Especially with all the big personalities that we had, right? Like Tucker and Matt, Cedric, Quinn, not really Joseph. Kenny, no. But you know, those other four guys were big, strong personalities that you would imagine probably would have done pretty well in the game, but all got taken out for different reasons in different scenarios. It's just been a fun season overall. Let's see where we're at here. Maybe Leah has COVID. She's been in bed for the past few days. I think that was just really just a little bit of game depression, right? Like knowing that Quinn was leaving. And she really couldn't do anything about it. That's what that was more about than her being sick. But you know, you never know. Although it makes sense for Cam to go next, I do feel like he's a lot of people's best bet to win in a final two. That's the other thing too, and I don't know if they know that. I'm not 100% sure if they see that as a thing. But yeah, I agree. I think Cam's another one. If at this point of the game, I don't know who Cam can sit next to and win. I really don't. Right? I feel like almost everybody he's sitting next to probably beats him. Here's a wild one. I think Angela could beat Cam. It'd be maybe not like a runaway, but I could see it. It's a possibility. Slim, but it's a possibility. There's an air quality alert. Maybe for liability issues, they have to move them. You know, potentially, Dawn, that's something too. Maybe even HoH wasn't played yet. But also, if it wasn't played yet, like why keep the feeds down, right? I don't know, but that could be a thing. It could be. I know they also had an earthquake earlier yesterday. I don't think that would have affected much, right? Unless so potentially if they had the whole thing built and there was an earthquake and then they got to like double triple check everything to make sure it's secure, right? If it's like a large build, if it's one of those like spinning contraptions, I would imagine after an earthquake, they got to double check, right? To make sure a bolt's not loose or something. Somebody ends up flying out of the Could you imagine if it was the spinning thing? They're all on a rope and they're spinning. They're like, oh, this HoH is great. And then all of a sudden, one of the ropes come loose. They go flying out of the backyard over the wall. All the producers are like, who's supposed to check that rope? Whose job was that? Someone will blame it on Ainsley. Yeah, I would imagine that could cause some delays. But yeah, I don't know exactly what's going on. Hopefully everything's good and it's just comp related. But yeah, it's interesting. Season is pretty incredible. Oh, I missed it. I missed it. Somebody had a good comment. Totally missed it. That feels like some Final Destination. Ooh, that could you imagine? Next Final Destination, somebody's on Big Brother, they die from a competition. That needs to make it in the next Final Destination movie. that needs to be in there. Oh man. So they did do, it was like a Big Brother zombie movie. Has anybody ever seen this? It was filmed in the BB house. And it was basically like they were in the house when a zombie outbreak broke out. What if they did Final Destination, but it's in like the Big Brother house? And instead of getting evicted, people are getting picked off in weird ways. Someone goes in one of the endurance comps. Somebody else gets trapped in the back, like closing sliding door. Someone falls down the stairs. This is morbid. How did we get here? How did we end up here? Let's see. Where are we at here? No earthquakes out here, y'all. Well, that's good to hear. I think it wasn't like today, but like yesterday morning early, there was one. But it was a little tiny thing. Like nothing huge. Oh my God, who would ever want to live in LA? Fires, earthquakes, overheating to the point of your power outage is scary. Flying out the studio. I knew Ainsley was coming back in some form, but everyone said, oh no, Ainsley is over. See, told you. What happened to Rubina's leg? That's a good question. I don't know. Someone had mentioned that she had like a burn or something on her leg, but I don't know if that was true or not. I hope Tucker wins America's favorite player, just so it could encourage more players to play that way and not be so safe and boring. 100%, Lou. 100%. I'm with you on that. The way Quinn and Angela were able to talk before they left, I think Quinn would actually advocate for Angela to win. Maybe. Also, here's just a fun little fact, right? Angela and Quinn have pretty much been out for each other since week 1, right? Like, they tried to work together. Everything blew up with Matt. She then eventually blew up his spot with the invisible HoH power. Nobody believed it, but it was still like a thing. They were going after each other. Neither of them voted. Neither of them were able to vote each other out. And literally, Angela, when she has the chance to vote out Quinn, doesn't vote out Quinn. What a wild little rivalry they had. Loving Xavier on Anonymous. I haven't watched Anonymous yet. So one of the things I kind of plan on doing is after BB season, we have Twitch and Kick, where I'll definitely be streaming a lot more after the season's over. BB just dominates all of my time. So after the season's over, one of the things I want to do is over on Kick is watch Anonymous. And that would be kind of cool because over there we can get away with some more stuff, especially shows like that are a little bit more under the radar, right? That people aren't really paying attention to as much. And Kick, they look the other way on a lot of things, you know? So that would be interesting to check out. There was another one I wanted to check out too, but now I'm forgetting what it is. I got a whole list of stuff. I'm like, all right, so after BB, gotta watch this, gotta watch this, gotta watch this, gotta catch up on this. Can Angela win? Ooh, it's a tough one, Stin. It's a tough one. How you doing, buddy? Where are we at here? Did he get the 20K since he was evicted? I don't know if he's gotten it already, but he has won that at least, which is nice. Rubina got burned on the wall from the smoke cannons. That makes sense, Aaron. That makes sense. I don't see Tucker as AFP just because he's out pre-jury. His eviction will feel so long ago by the time that vote happens. True, right? Like, I could see that, but also his impact was so big on the game that I think he still has a really good shot at winning it. Because otherwise, right, like, who potentially could win it, right? Like, maybe Chelsea, maybe T-Core, but I just don't see it, right? I don't see them winning it over him. Nobody else, right? I don't see Rubina winning it over him. I don't see Chemo winning it over him. Angela, like the casuals hate her, right? Leah, I don't see it winning it over him. Cam, MJ, mate. If MJ is able to pull off some like kind of crazy end game here, maybe. But yeah, I just feel like he's such a strong personality and had such a huge impact that I think he's still got that pretty much locked down. Where are we at here? Totally lost my spot. Totally lost it. Have you watched The Circle? I've kind of given up on The Circle. Yeah, I don't know. The first 2 seasons of The Circle, loved it. I thought it was awesome. 3rd season on, I don't know. It just kind of felt like the same old, same old. And it really just kind of lost steam for me. I don't know. I can't even explain to you exactly what it is. But after those first 2 seasons, I really lost interest. Where are we at here? Totally lost where I was again. Loving the Anonymous. This is so wild. Have you watched The Circle? Leah's playing old school floater strategy. 100%, buddy. I think Chelsea and T-Core have this season 1, but it is BB26, so you ain't wrong. Is that Portal? Portal? I love the name. Yeah, you ain't wrong. I think they're the front runners, right? We have them on our allegiance chart as the top of the pile, both of them. Chelsea just a little bit above T-Core, I think. But yeah, definitely the front runners right now. If they're smart, if the other house guests are smart in there, those would be the 2 that should be leaving next. But I don't know if they're 100% going to be doing that anytime soon. Donnie won his season, and he left around 7th when Derek won his season. Good example, Butterfly. Tucker's 100% winning. What's your take on Challenge 40? I'm loving Challenge 40 so far. I really like the cast that they have. I like the twist with if you go down to the sand and you win, you then get to name targets that are going to not only be in control, but potentially in your spot the next week. I think that's a really cool little shake up to the game. I'm liking it a lot so far. I think it's been really good. Did the house guests feel the earthquake? I think a couple of them did, but others didn't. And it was like a mild one. Let's see where we're at. Yes, Sandra's daughter, Nina. I know her from Survivor Australia. She's done 2 seasons of Survivor Australia, so I'm excited to see her on it. Anonymous is like The Circle and BB combined. Interesting. Jeopardy tune song playing in my head as I patiently wait for the feeds to come back, right? And I was trying to give them time here, too, and I'm like, maybe we can just kind of hang out for a bit and they'll come back, but nah. So sad Quinn is out. Hope they leave Angela alone at this point so someone can drag her to the end. Now we're all humming the Jeopardy theme song. Angela's HOH win, please. I need it. If Angela wins HOH, she has 3 HOHs and 3 vetoes used on her. That would be wild. I feel like Rubina's guaranteed win in Final 2 that every season has, kind of like Victoria. The only thing is, I don't know if Rubina can win if T-Core and Chemo are in the jury, because she would then have 2 votes automatically. Then, depending on who she's up against and how things play out, I could see bitterness where Rubina was able to pull off 4 votes, because that's all you need. It's all you need is 4 votes. And I think if she got to the final 2 and T-Core and Chemo were in the jury, I think there's a chance she could pull it off. Otherwise, yeah, I kind of agree. I don't think she beats a lot of people. Yeah, I kind of agree. But there's a chance. There's always a chance. Cara Marie is gold. Where are we at here? Totally lost where I was. Rubina definitely a Victoria. Where are we at? This is also a huge apartment fire in down LA, so maybe they had to evacuate. Hopefully not. Hopefully everybody's okay there. Very early season, I think, maybe just a fever dream. I feel like Chemo said, hey, Quinn, want to make out? Quinn goes, oh, yeah. What? What was that? I don't remember that. I remember Joseph eating a pickle out of Chemo's mouth. That was a thing. Okay, y'all just jumped on. Who won HoH? Donna. You won't believe it, Donna. Do you want to know who won HoH? These cute puppies, right? Or kittens. These are kittens. These kittens are the HoH. Donna, we don't know. The feeds never came back. The feeds have been down since the episode. We still don't know who won HoH. Let's see. Totally lost where we are. Julie gave the houseguest COVID. Hopefully not. The HoH being revealed live on Thursday. Yeah, 13 plus hours we've been down. Angela's going to put up MJ and Leah if she wins HoH. I don't know. I mean, if history's any indication, yes, those would be the most recent people who saved her. But I think maybe she would go after TKR. I think she would take a shot at T-Core, Rubina, or Chemo. Man, leave it, come back, still animals. Still animals. How's Joseph and Leah brother? Huh? Are Joseph and Leah like brothers? Maybe? Do you ever watch the video of all the firsts if we live stream together? Matt said he was T-Core's house with her boyfriend watching one of the episodes. Was he really? That's kind of cool. Did you notice that no one cried for Quinn? I thought there would be more tears. I thought there would. They seemed like they were all like kind of really not liking the idea of having to do it. But yeah, no real tears. Angela, I don't think would put up Angela. I don't think Angela would put up Angela. That I agree with. Leah, yeah, I don't think she would put up Leah. Who got HoH? We don't know, Steven. We don't know. The feeds never came back. Where are we at here? The twist this week is no feeds. What do you think the AI twist is? Probably something lame. I imagine it's something to do with Zingbot, but not 100% sure. I wonder if it might be something like Pressure Cooker. I hope not, Brent. I hope not. I bet Leah is really regretting saving Angela after all this. I was earnestly shocked that there wasn't a double eviction announced for this Thursday. I'm with you on that, right? I really kind of expected it to be announced for this upcoming week. But I guess maybe they're holding it off for next week. Potentially. Where are we at here? Feeds down as the twist, probably, but we don't know. What was the new twist? Well, the Junior Artificial Neurokinetic Intelligence Entity, Janie, I don't know, will be in charge. What that means, no idea. Let's see. If Angela wins, she is the best player of all time. You know what? I honestly couldn't disagree. If that does happen, you almost have to give her credit. Angela, what was that? Angela may just put the last two guys up, Cam and Chemo. It's possible. Tucker Cody interview on the Winner Circle was great. I'll have to check that one out. I haven't seen that one. I usually don't even bother with a lot of the post interviews. I don't know why. I just always feel like once they're gone, right? Like the jury interviews, like, yeah, usually I'll check them out just to get an idea of where they might be leaning. But pre-jurors, I'm always just like, you're gone. I don't know. I don't really need your input. Now that AI is gone, they got their goodbyes out early. Yeah, and that's actually a good point, right? I think a lot of it was kind of all handled the day before, right? So they didn't really feel the need to have to get all those emotions out right away. Button Boy fell asleep at the wheel. Angela would definitely stare in the mirror for a while and think she heard herself making an alliance, resulting in herself putting herself on the block. And then crying about it. I love that, Lou. Quinn should have used his freaking immunity idol. He didn't even get to kiss Leah. Is Angela HoH? We don't know. It's possible. We're kind of in Schrodinger's HoH at the moment, where it could be anybody. I've never watched a after interview either. I thought I was the only one. I kind of want Angela to win win the HoH and put up T-Core and Chemo, then T-Core leave. Or do you think Cam is playing low and trying to win out once he gets the final 5? Maybe. And that's what he kind of has to do at this point. He almost has to win out. Because I feel like he'd end up being one of the top targets. It was so rude that Leah didn't walk Quinn to the door as he was leaving. Oh, gag. Please don't let Angela win. Guys, I think we need some more sweet Kenny K this season. Hasn't been the same without him. Who do we got coming on in? Mother of 2 in Florida. Thank you for hitting that sub button. Guess what? You might not know this. But when you hit that subscribe button, we now have a secret alliance. Shh. Don't tell anybody. But we are going to the final 2. Just don't tell anybody. You might hear rumors of other final 2s that I have, but it's not true. It's not true. Me and you, we're going to the final 2. The alliance map is crazy for final 8. It really is. Feeds still aren't up. They still are not up. Who do you see being evicted this week? It's so dependent on who wins HoH. It's never been more dependent on who wins HoH this week, on who goes. I think that was less Leah and more Quinn just wanting to get out of there. Cam is in a sweet spot. I don't know if he is. I feel like he's someone, and Chemo is someone on either side that could be in trouble this week. Feeds are still down. They are. If it was pressure cooker, I would leave first so I don't have to listen to Angela for a couple of hours. I saw Joseph's interview on CBS Instagram account. Typical delusional man. I'm surprised Leah didn't give Quinn a little more attention. I'm betting she definitely showed him more interest in worse looking guys. Everyone goes home with the immunity idol in their pocket. Why shouldn't Quinn? What would be the worst case scenario winning HoH? I don't know if there even is one, to be honest. Because all of them end up doing something kind of interesting, right? Like, I think Chemo puts up Cam, which is kind of cool. He's taking a shot at that other trio. Same with Cam. I think he puts up Chemo, which takes a shot at the other trio. I don't know if there necessarily is like a worst case scenario. I think all of them could be interesting. Maybe the worst case one, honestly, Rubina? Because maybe Rubina just puts up like Leah and Angela. And that's a little bit boring. And then a replacement's like MJ, which again, it kind of feels a little bit boring. Feats need to come back now. Let's see, where were we? Totally lost where I was. Are you surprised Leah said she had a crush on Quinn? Yes and no, just because of how like the house works in there, right? When you're in there, the house becomes your whole world, right? There's nothing else for you to think about, interact with, right? So I can see how it eventually developed. But man, that poor kid, he's got the worst timing in the world. He can't catch a break. I think Rubina has moved into a good position, but again, it's dependent on who has power. Because we could say the same for MJ too. 100% T-Gold. Live feeds are still dead. We are on puppy cams. Or actually, I think those are kittens back there running around. Yeah, I think those are 2 kittens. No, they might be puppies. They might be puppies. Joseph was probably pissed when Leah acknowledged her crush on Quinn. Kenny K for the challenge. Let's see where we're at here. I totally have lost my spot now. Who on HoH just joined? We don't know, Andrew. Feeds are still down. Never came back after the episode. Chelsea said to the camera one time that Cam makes her feel some kind of way. That is true. And she needs to sort those feelings out. So I think she has a deep-seated jealousy and can't act on it. I was talking about Kenny on the challenge. Absolutely. Kenny on the challenge would be great. Let's do it. He would be terrible on the challenge. Chelsea to Cam. Chelsea is the Cam, what Quinn is the Leah. Not a bad analogy. Not a bad analogy. Where are we at here? Leah does not have a crush on Quinn. Production made her say that. I don't know. I think she does a little bit, right? I think she does. That felt genuine, right? I'll say this too. If that was just the line she said, give her an Oscar. Give her an Oscar. You don't fake those kind of giggles, right? Like the head and the hands and everything. Like she was blushing, like she full on. That was her admitting, like, yeah, I have a little bit of a crush on him. Who do you think is the worst house guest that could win HoH? Again, I don't know if there really is a worst one, right? I think all of them are decent options. But I think Leah and Angela would be the most interesting of the options because I just don't know 100% what direction they would go. Still like 6 minutes behind, but there were no tears for Quinn because they had the time to prepare mentally for it now that the AI arena is over. Yeah, Andy, I kind of think that's kind of how it happened. Survivor draft pick? Maybe. I'll tell you what, there's one girl on there. I don't remember her name. She was like, I think the blonde nurse. She felt like she could have the stuff, right? I thought she was interesting. Other than that, there was the one guy. What was his name? I think he was like a construction worker or something. He seemed interesting. Oh, and the video game announcer. There was a dude who does like esports commentary. I was like, he could be kind of cool. But I don't know. I don't have high hopes for US Survivor seasons anymore. Totally lost where I was. Let's jump down to the bottom. Let's see where we are. Feeds came back on for a second, but they just showed them all sleeping. Did they? I missed it. I have the feeds up, but I missed it. I would imagine they probably are all sleeping at this moment if they are even not doing a competition anymore. Woke up at 3 a.m. Eastern to start my granddaughter's breakfast and pack her lunch. My eyes were glued shut for pets' allergies. Maybe someone tested positive for COVID. Hopefully not. It was like a literal second. It was quick. I think it was an old clip of Leah whenever she had a crush on Tucker. And Quinn is just making it seem like she has a crush on Quinn. Well, she said Quinn. She didn't. She literally said, "I think I have a crush on Quinn." It wasn't like I think I have a crush. It was I have a crush on Quinn. Did you see the New York City party? So dope. The BB alumni stick together. I did see that. That was pretty cool. Seeing all of them out there. Who won? We don't know, Norma. Don't know. Imagine the feeds came back and Jerry O'Connell is replaced one of the house guests because they got sick. Was it pressure cooker? I don't think so. They would be just completely shooting themselves in the foot if they blocked pressure cooker. It makes no sense at all to keep those blocked from us. So no, I don't think it was pressure cooker. Let's see. I think she said him, not Quinn. I don't know. I don't think it was Tucker though at all. I think I have a crush on him. Can we pull this up? Can we fact check this? Let me fact check this. Let's see. Just let me fact check it here. The clip. This is definitely it, but where is it? Where is it? Where does she say it? it's here. She does say him. I'll give you that. She does say him. She doesn't say Quinn. And there's potential. There's potential. But I don't know. I think she was talking about Quinn. I think she was talking about Quinn. I don't think it was Tucker. Because here's the thing, too. Tucker also isn't her type, right? Like, she's talked before that, like, those aren't her type of guys. The Cams, the Tuckers, the stuff like that. I think a lot of that was all with the talk of, like, her, like, you know, having, like, a little bit of feelings for Quinn or feelings for Tucker and having a crush on him. I think a lot of that was more about, like, her trying to get all the guys wrapped around her finger, getting all of them to have feelings for her, right? I don't think necessarily she had feelings for anyone in the house, but she was flirting with them. Now, Quinn, he ends up being the one who's there the longest, flirting with her the longest. And it's just one of those things when you're in the house like that, it's very easy to get those kind of feelings about people, right? Because it's your whole world in there. Every single second of the day, those are all the only people you see, right? There's nowhere else you're talking to. Think about it like back when you were in school, right? Crushes back in like school days, right? Way different than like a crush if you would have somebody like once you got like older, right? Like, because you're not seeing them every single day when you're, you know, going to school with somebody every day. Like, you see them every day, right? You're like not getting away from them. It's even more so in the Big Brother house because you're just with them 24/7. And it's another big reason why like showmances on Big BB end up kind of lasting so much longer and having a lot of success rate is because you build these deep bonds with people because it's your whole world in there. Let's see where we at. She likes Tucker. That she asked Rabina, do you like Tucker? Again, though, I think a lot of that all was like trying to manipulate people and you know, use her like flirty game, right? Like I don't think she ever really had like a thing for Tucker. I just think it was just in general trying to play the guys. And that, like, here's the thing. Go back to her bio video. She literally said, I'm good at manipulating men. Like, that was her game plan coming into the show, was to manipulate men. So I think that's what that really was a lot about. BB would not make something up like that. They 100% would make something up like that. They would 100% make something up like that. I just don't necessarily think they are. Quinn will get bummed out and lonely in the jury house, so he'll grief eat and become her type. Oh no. Quinn's personality might have won her over regardless of the physical type she likes. Right, that's the thing. I think it's just one in general, right? Like, and a crush doesn't mean she's in love with him or anything, right? It just means like, yeah, I might have a little crush on him now. It's like, how could I not, right? He's always, you know, showering me with attention, and he's the only like guy in here that's showing me attention. There might be some feelings that develop there, right? Doesn't necessarily mean they're huge, strong feelings, but it could be a thing. Where are we at here? Totally missed where I'm at. Good job, Leah. They so would. After MJ's top 10 worst moves of all time this week, she will have to win out from Final 8. That's like what like saying Ori wouldn't have more than one Final 2. Whoa. She knows she's stuck in the house with him, and he's pinning for her. She can't hurt his feelings and make it awkward. Didn't she see she was afraid of being in the jury house alone with him for a week? I didn't see that at all. No. MJ said, it said it too. I got this whole house wrapped around my little finger, and she did. I get what you're saying. She could have developed feelings for Quinn. He was constantly flirting with her and spending time with her, right? And again, doesn't even necessarily mean like they're like real feelings. It's just like, you know what? It's like the only person in here, and you know, I developed a little crush. Crushes don't necessarily mean it's like anything you would act on, right? It's just like, yeah, I don't know, right? If he was the last man on Earth, sure, right? It's that kind of situation. You think Rabina and Tucker will last out of the house? Maybe, right? It does feel like they do really like each other a lot. But now they're also spending a lot of time away from each other. They live in different cities. So there's lots of hurdles to get over. So you never know. Hopefully nobody got hurt, Miss Debbie. Hopefully not. I think Chelsea messed up her game this week. It's possible. It is possible, and it's been a theme of the season where every HoH comes out of their week in a worse position than they were in before. Tucker told his friend Cody that's his girl. He wants it to work out. Would you be willing to give us an evening update after knowing who HoH is? I could try. But I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how things go. Chelsea's HoH wasn't good for her. She made herself a target. Now Angela and Leah will target her. I think that is definitely a possibility. Got to give Leah her credit. She said exactly what she was going to do. Too bad it only worked on Joseph and Quinn and sometimes Angela. Do we think there's a possibility for a battle back for Quinn? It's always a possibility. But if you look at the weeks, they're kind of set up in the perfect amount where we would get one double eviction and it would go right into the finale with 3. So if they did do a battle back, they'd either have to do a second double eviction, which I don't think they're going to do. We only have a limited amount of time anyway to get one in. And if they did, then they would have to do maybe like a triple eviction or something like that. So I would lean towards no battle back. Leah and Quinn is just BB25's America with more likable cam, but it's just as cringe. I don't think it's that bad. Nah. An evening update from you would be great. What was the comp? We don't even know what the comp was. We don't even know. Why is Angela below the screen? That's her positioning in the game. she's that low down. I don't think there will be a battle back. Yeah, I agree. What was this? If it was pressure cooker, who do you think would win it? That's a crapshoot in its own right there too. But I also don't think it was pressure cooker. Like I really doubt it was. She's drowning in bad gameplay. I think it's a legitimate crush for Leah. I don't think anything will come of it, but the house intensifies all your emotions so much that a flirty friendship could easily evolve into a crush over time. Andy, that's exactly my thoughts on it too. Very well put. She's barely afloat above the surface. What was that? I think people get all wrapped up. It can, right? I think this season's there's way less of that actually going on, and I feel like everybody's doing more. It's more like who they want to be friends with than anything else. Which, while is good in the beginning for your alliances, it feels like they're just all about making friends and not winning, which is a thing. Don't like the battle back. Imagine being in the jury house alone with Angela. Oh no. BB Comics, maybe, right? Quinn's birthday is October 3rd. And will be spent in the jury house. Oh no. I think BB26 learned from BB25 that bringing in eliminated contestants after immediate leaving will be like a zombie week. Yeah, not good. Just saw a tweet from Leah's older sister saying that she could tell Leah liked Quinn, so crush could be legit. See, there we go. I heard season 19 OTT standing with a pole endurance. Even if that was, I just don't. I don't have the faith in these guys to go that long, right? Like I don't think they would last that long. I think they would all fall very quickly. They are stupid to keep the 3 instead of the trio. Yeah, I think not breaking up the trio was a big mistake. They need to break up the trio already. Bring on camp comeback. Oh no, Lou. The allegiance map is kind of empty without Quinn, right? It's really getting to that point where it's starting to feel empty in there. And we're getting in those final stretches. It is coming on down. Speaking of, I think it is time to wrap up the stream for the morning. But hey, we still don't know what's going on in there. There's still no feeds. We are still on the kittens who are napping themselves, as we don't know who won HoH or anything about what's going on. Hopefully we'll find out more info soon. I want to thank you guys all for joining me, all the people who came in, hitting those sub buttons. I appreciate it. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, if you had fun during this stream, smash that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Check out all the links to my socials in the description down below. Things like Twitter and Discord, great places to keep track of everything going on. When new videos are posted, things like that, Twitch and Kick. You can check out Throne, you can check out the Ori Fund, you can join as a member. But the easiest thing to do if you want to support me, smash that thumbs up button. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll come on a little bit later with an update on what's happening in the house. But otherwise, I will see you next time.
To come even close to bringing me down. I hope you find it hard to believe.